Hello gardening friends, welcome to Backyard Basics. A lot of plant material to pick from here in Central Texas and around the area. Lots of beautiful flowers like these dianthus right here. And these are just a few of the many choices of dianthus that are available out there. And so I brought a few to talk about today. I like them a lot. They do very well for me. They're very easy to grow. And so I'll show you some of the types that we have around here. All of these are low growers. So here's the Carmine Rose. Look at that pretty color on that one. Just a gorgeous, where you need little red or carmine color in the garden, this is perfect right here. Now here's another one, this next one called Parfait. This is super parfait, and this is a raspberry color, and you can see the multiple layers in there of the different colors on these things. There's another series called Floral Mix. I brought a couple of them here. The Floral Mix, look at that beauty. Look at all that color. And they bloom a whole lot from spring way into fall, and even the mild winters here in Central Texas keep them going. They really like these kinds of temperatures. So Floral Lace, that's a beauty right there. I really like them. And the Floral Lace comes in an assortment of colors. Look at this one. Really pretty. Look at that two-tone color right there. I just love it. One of the things you see about these is that the edge is, looks like pinking shears did that. It really does look like that. You know, the word pink actually comes from dianthus. That's where that word came from. They're called little pinks. And it came from, there's several terms. One of them in the Bible is called the Pentecost. And during that time, they were in full bloom. And as a result, they picked up this name pink. And so we share that name for other colors these days. Here's another series right here. These are called Telstar. Here's a nice salmon color. Look at these beautiful little colors that you can combine out there. Here's some whites. Maybe on the edge of a garden, in your night garden, you'd put the whites out there. And now that would mark the trail on both sides. Silver plants do it too. But these little guys would make a great edge for that night garden. And it's a beauty. You know, they have that nice fragrance. It's kind of what people call a spice or a nutmeg type of fragrance. It's really neat. Here's another one of the Telstar. This is a pink one. Look at that. Beautiful little pink flowers. Here's another of that same Telstar series. This is a scarlet colored one. That's a beauty right there. And let me see. This is the Telstar Purple. That's another great little color. You can see when they're in mass, they become a very pretty little flower. Nice collections. They can be spaced in the garden about 6 or 8 inches apart. They do spread rather nicely. So putting a few in a container, it's a good way to do it. I grow mine in containers, and they just go and go and go. The container or the garden needs to be a well-draining soil. It will not tolerate a heavy clay. So you've got to work on the soil's drainage. I think that's very important. And then all you got to do is top dress them with a little compost. Some people will use a liquid fertilizer to promote more brooms, but in reality, a little bit of compost grows these beauties. They're really low maintenance. The maintenance that is required, though, would be deadheading. If you want to keep them flowering and flowering, you've got to remove some of the old spent buds, like these right here. So you just take a little pruning shear, or pinking, and go in there and cut it and take these guys off. That will stimulate many more blooms, and the cycle of blooms lasts a lot longer, and they really bloom the whole season. So this is a great choice. And look at the height on these. There are going to be a variety of heights for your garden, some for the foreground, some middle, and some for the background, like these carnations right here. Probably the most important one of the different types of dianthus. But dianthus, the word comes from dios, the first part of that word, and it means, and there's other interpretations here, but it's about the god Zeus, the first naming of it. And anthos means flower. So these are the flowers of God. This is that type of term related to these little flowers. And no matter how it's interpreted, it always goes back to the flowers of God. So these are great choices for your garden. And the flowers are edible. They can be crystallized. You can use them in any way. And I think they'd have that wonderful nasturtium type of a flavor. So if you're looking for a little plant for your rock garden, containers, or just to trim out the garden, I think dianthus are a great choice for us here in Texas. For Backyard Basics, I'm John Dromgoole. I'll see you next week.